On December 3rd, legendary film and television actor Cesar Romero visited Comcast Cablevision to help celebrate their launch of a new basic service to its channel lineup, American Movie Classics. Comcast employees in North Arlington had a unique opportunity to talk to Mr. Romero about his career, as well as take part in an employee luncheon in his honor. After signing the last of many autographs, Mr. Romero left the North Arlington facility to begin what was to be a very hectic schedule. His first stop, the East Newark Senior Citizen Center.
Holy mackerel.
Here we go.
Hey! Well, here we are.
Here he was indeed, and what our seniors didn't know was who the surprise visitor was.
Well, my goodness. How nice. Oh. Not too nice. Gee.
Only try to be.
Well, I haven't had flowers pinned on me for a long time.
God bless you. Thank you.
We appreciate you celebrating today with us, and I'm going to introduce, obviously Amanda needs no introduction by the grass when we came in, but I want to call in Hollywood's legendary actors, Mr. Cesar Romero.
Well, thank you. The Joker speaks. Well, it seems to me that all the young people think of me only as the Joker. They don't remember any of the old things that I've done. My Lord, I've been in over 100 pictures in 58 years. And you know, I'm an old Jerseyite. When I was 8 years old, I started going down to Bradley Beach, New Jersey. We had our summer home down there, and I lived in New Jersey all those years until I was 19 and I left home. So I have very many fond memories of the Jersey Shore. So it's been a pleasure to be here just for a short time to say hello and to greet you and wish you all well, and I hope you all have a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Thank you. How do you do?
That way. Yes.
Hey!
How are you? I'm
Pretty
Jack
good,
Manning,
pretty
the
good. How are
director
you?
of the Center. This is John Lehman.
How are you today?
Hi, fine. Best wishes
They
always
wouldn't let a
yours.
woman be a chief, though.
Well, I made chief.
You made chief, I know you
Yes.
did, yeah.
Well,
And that's why you had said, let's get a picture together. 'cause
how
I
do
was
you
a
like
coxswain.
that?
Many years ago. That was
Yes,
45.
it is. We were both young then, weren't we?
Tell me, only you showed the white hair so much better.
Here,
Oh.
turn around.
Can you show us the picture too?
Oh,
Sure.
It's a glossy, I don't think it'll come out, will it?
It's great, guys.
Yeah, what about the other pictures?
Ah.
Wonderful.
Look over here for a minute, please.
Okay.
You know how they dig these things out. Oh, I have others of you, too.
Well, it's so nice to see you again.
Yes.
Whoopa.
Truly greatest screen legend of all time, Mr. Cesar Romero.
Hey, how are you? Hello. How are you? Fine. My God, where are we? Whoa.
There you go.
I'm on my own now.
You're on your own.
Great memories I have. I have worked with so many wonderful people in this business. People like Carol Lombard and Tyrone Power and Barbara Stanwyck, Greer Garson, Bob Taylor, and all the musical pictures that I did with Betty Grable, Sonia Henney, Alice Faye, Sonia Henney, and Carmen Miranda. You know, I made a picture with Carmen Miranda that was quite famous. And it wasn't a movie either. It was a still picture. I'll tell you what happened. Did anybody ever see that picture? Oh, you did, huh? Well, it was the last day of shooting on a picture called, what was the name of the picture, Lord? Weekend in Havana. And she was late. Carmen was late arriving on the set. And the director of the picture, Walter Lang, was very annoyed because we were losing time. Alice Faye and John Payne and I were just sitting around doing nothing. Finally, Carmen rushed on the set. She went into a little portable dressing room to get dressed, and her wardrobe woman had forgotten to bring the little panties that she wore under her skirt. And she was going to go back to the wardrobe department to get them. And Carmen said, no, never mind, I don't need them. Mr. Lang is angry because I'm late, you know. So she got dressed. She didn't have anything on underneath the skirt. My skirts were way down to the floor, you know, and the bananas and the fruit on her head. And we worked, and then the publicity people came up to us and said, look, Mr. Romero, we have the lights all set. Will you and Miss Miranda come over and pose for some publicity stills? So Carmen and I went over and we posed, you know, prettily. And then they said, let's get some action shots. Pick her up and twirl her around. You're ahead of me. So I picked her up and twirled her around. And that was that. We finished the picture. And Carmen left for New York. She was doing a musical show with the Olsen and Johnson. And a couple of weeks later, I bumped into a friend of mine. He said, hey, about that picture of you and Carmen Miranda. I said, what picture? He said, you haven't seen it? Yeah. Well, I saw it. Here we were. We both had big smiles on our faces. And I had her up in the air, you know, and her legs were, her skirt had flared out, and her legs were beautifully spread out. And the camera caught the bullseye right on the nose. Well, I want to tell you, that picture was all over the place. A couple of the gas stations in Hollywood had it blown up life-size. Well, a year later, Carmen and I were again making a picture. And I was in the rehearsal hall rehearsing a dance number with Betty Grable for a picture called Springtime in the Rockies. And Carmen came in, fresh from New York, and she put her arms around me and she whispered in my ear, if they give us $25,000, we let them take another picture. And you know, and a few years later, during the war, I served on an attack transport in the Pacific, and we went in on the invasion of Saipan. And I was ashore with the navigation officer from my ship. We were in an army jeep, and we were going up into the hills, and at one point we had to get out and take cover. The Japanese were holed up in the caves up in the hills, and we were shooting things into the caves, trying to get them out, and they were shooting things down at us. So we had to duck out and take cover. And this little boy that was shooting stuff into the caves kept looking at me all the time, you know. And he finally dropped his gun, and he came creeping over to me, and he said, "Are you Cesar Romero?" I said, "Yeah." And he reached inside his blouse and brought this picture out, and he said, "Is that real, or did they touch it up?" So I assured him it was quite real. I asked him why he had that picture. He said he had it for good luck and inspiration. So I surely hope he had both. Well, it's been a great pleasure being with you, and just to say these few words. And may I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy New Year. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you. All right? Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, I hope so. Bye-bye. Not so much anymore.
Do you still rumba?
A little. Thank you, dear.
Enjoyed all your shows.
Thank you.
Stay young, kid.
I will.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
I got an autograph from you 53 years ago.
Comcast card? Yes. Okay, card is on the lower level tonight. Go check on the right-hand side. We didn't give it a probation. A lot of time in Tennessee.
On Tennessee, yes, that's right. My Lord, Knoxville.
It was memorable, right?
Commissioner Haggerty, Paul Haggerty.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Happy to meet you. How do you do? How are you? Thank you. Happy to meet you.
Jody Wright, one of your most favored admirers.
Oh, thank you.
In fact, just the other night I put on Donovan's Reef again.
Oh? Yeah, you're going to take a picture? I don't see how we can all get in there.
Got us all there, huh?
Thank you for joining us in our celebration of our launch of American Movie Classics. And a very, very, very special thank you to Mr. Cesar Romero. True legend and a great man. Really appreciated the time I got to spend with him today. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Kim Allen, our Director of Government Affairs, and Kim is going to present the proclamation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Don. And I'd like to echo what Don has said. We thank you all for joining us and for hopefully joining AMC every evening on Channel 16, right? On Comcast Cable. At this time, I'd like to ask a few people to join me here while I read the proclamation. First, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Sansari, representing Carlstadt. Would you join me, please? Mayor Lyndon Felser from Kearney. Would you join me, Mayor? And Mayor Bertone, would you please join me? Mayor Stellato. Mayor Wargacki, would you join us, please? And we believe that's it of the representatives from our various communities. We hope we haven't missed anyone. What I'd like to do now is to read the proclamation on behalf of the communities that are represented here. That's Carlstadt, Kearney, Rutherford, Lyndhurst, and Wallington. And we thank you all for joining us. Our proclamation, Mayor Proclamation. Mr. Cesar Romero, one of America's most celebrated motion picture stars, was born on February 15, 1907 in New York City of Cuban parentage. Whereas after beginning his career as a dancer, Mr. Romero starred or had supporting roles in over 100 motion pictures in a versatile career spanning 6 decades in such memorable films around the world in 80 Days, The Thin Man, Carnival in Costa Rica, Donovan's Reef, Ocean's 11, and Springtime in the Rockies. Whereas he is perhaps known for his portrayal of the Cisco Kid in the adventure film series, as well as for his role as the original Joker in the popular Batman television series. A personal favorite of mine. Whereas he is a member of the American Movie Classics family as host of the Sunday afternoon series Romance Classics, now seen on Channel 16 on Comcast Cablevision. Whereas as mayors of Bergen and Hudson counties, we are proud to join with American Movie Classics and Comcast Cablevision in welcoming this screen legend to our area. Now, therefore, do we proclaim Thursday, December 13th, 1992, Cesar Romero Day.
Thank you so much. Well, I've never been surrounded by so many mayors. Are we going to take a picture now? Hey.
Really, because the residents of Wallington.
Oh, that's
appreciate
beautiful.
you. And
Thanks.
you've done a nice
Thank
job.
you. Stay there. Don't turn around, though. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here tonight in this lovely place. I don't know where I am, but I'm glad to be here. And I know we're in New Jersey, you know, and we got out of New York, and the traffic that I see, oh my Lord, you can't move in that city. You can't move, it's packed, jammed. I'm so glad I don't live there anymore. I really am. I'm very happy to be in California. We have earthquakes and mudslides, but it's a wonderful place to live. And I want to thank you all so very, very much for being so kind and giving me such a nice welcome. I'm delighted to meet you, and I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a very happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. Thank you so very much.
And once again, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a very special day and a very special night, and we have some great programming to look forward to. And thank you. Good night.
I forgot to say, if anybody has any particular questions that they'd like to ask, I'd be very happy to answer them if I can. Don't hear a thing.
After Ronald Reagan ran, why didn't you run?
Because I'm lucky, that's why. I know Ronnie. I used to go around with him when he was married to Jane Wyman. You know, and years ago, we used to go out together, and I used to go with a beautiful girl by the name of Virginia Bruce. I don't know whether anybody remembers her or not. And Virginia and I used to go out with Ronnie and Nancy, and we used to end up in a little nightclub in the valley called Charlie Foy's. And they had a little nightclub, and I mean, they had a little platform, and people used to get up and do, you know, impromptu things. And Jane and Ronnie used to get up and do their little, you know, and I used to sit there and say, little did I know that I was not only looking at the former, the governor of New Jersey, but I was looking at the president of the United States. I could never get over it. I used to say, Ronald Reagan is president of the United States. Oh dear. That was great. Well, yes. Yeah.
How was it making Ocean's 11?
What?
How was it making Ocean's 11?
Oh, it was great. You know, everybody was in that. Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, Sammy Davis Jr., of course, Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. It was great. You know, the wonderful part of it was that Frank doesn't like to work early in the morning. So we never started working until 12 noon. You know, so it was just marvelous to get there late, you know. Yeah, it was a great picture to do. I enjoyed it.
Oh, what can I tell you? We've had a wonderful night. As you know, AMC is now launched on Comcast Cable, part of Comcast Cable, Channel 16. And we brought Cesar Romero as our guest of honor. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful evening with lots of dancing and fun. We've taken pictures with Mr. Romero, and it's just been a wonderful event.
Now tell us, what about the proclamations from all the towns? Is that something special?
We've been trying to get all the mayors together who are all a part of Comcast Cable, and what they've all done has presented. They've proclaimed this to be Cesar Romero Day, and they've all written a proclamation and presented it to him. So it's really affected, I think, every town.
Cesar Romero has come down to our South Bergen, West Hudson area with Comcast concerning the American movie classics that are going to be aired 24 hours a day, commercial free, and this is a great guy. I met him for the first time. It's like I know him all my life. He is sincere, charismatic, and the least we can do is proclaim it Cesar Romero Day in this area for all of the great memories he's given to all of our residents for so many, many decades.
Great. And what is your favorite Cesar Romero movie? Do you have one?
Well, I remember him more as the Joker with the Batman, but as a kid growing up where he played the Cisco Kid, I thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's how I remember Cesar Romero.
What's your favorite Cesar Romero movie? You have one?
Oh, many. I can't even remember them all.
So many.
But all I can remember is this tall, handsome man.
Tall, handsome, distinguished man.
Yes, and so gorgeous, yes.
Always.
And always carried himself so well. Lovely man.
When I'm 85, I hope I look like him.
Now, what was it like for you to meet Cesar Romero?
It was exciting. I've never met a movie star in my life, so it's a wonderful feeling.
It's like
Very
a dream,
nice.
you know?
Now, are you fans of American movie classics?
Yes.
Very much.
Are you glad it's on Comcast now?
I'm very happy because when I watch television, I hardly ever see any
We are the
movies that are
first
worth
customer
watching.
with Comcast since it came out, you know. And since then, we enjoy it, really. And especially the classic movie,
Classics
old
are
movies.
the greatest.
Yeah, it is.
Never
You're
tired
doing
of
a swell job. I mean, we appreciate it, really. It's been fantastic tonight, really. We enjoyed it very much.
Well, Cesar Romero visited us at the Williams Center, and we were thrilled, and we had a number of senior citizens there that you would think it was, they all rose when he came into the theater, and it was just a thrilling experience to see him. Having seen him on the screen for many, many years, I don't remember the Thin Man, that goes way beyond my time. But it was just wonderful. It was just a wonderful experience, and we look forward to seeing his movies on AMC when they come through.
Now, you had your chance to get your picture taken with him?
Yes.
What did
That
you
was
think
really
when you got to be up there and meet him?
Oh, I think he's just so charismatic and virile looking. For 84, I can't imagine how he's kept his wonderful physique, and he's just such a warm person. He just makes you feel very at ease.
Is he the way you thought he'd be?
I don't know. It's hard to say because you see, we've grown up looking at these movies for so many years and seeing people on the screen. It's almost another world, and you don't ever expect that in your lifetime you will come face to face with them and talk to them. But he was just so natural, which is what I think comes across right away. There's no pretense about him. He doesn't seem to say, "Look who I am," you know. He just seemed to get right to the business of saying, "Hello, how are you?" and nice to meet you. And I thought that was great. Very, very thrilling for us. I hope our grandchildren will enjoy this. I don't think they know who Cesar Romero is, but I think
Well, I'm sure
they will
tonight you'll
enjoy it.
explain it to them.
We certainly will. We'll have them sit in front of AMC and when a movie is on and say, "Now that's the man we got to meet," and look and really enjoy him. You know. So.
Well, what I'd like you to do.
In a career that has spanned close to 5 decades, Cesar Romero became one of the most popular stars of Hollywood's golden era. Handsome and sophisticated, Romero has exhibited remarkable versatility throughout his distinguished career. Known primarily as the quintessential Latin lover in the 30s and early 40s, Cesar Romero moved on to do a great variety of roles in the years that followed. He has played featured parts in everything from romantic comedies to dramas to musicals to westerns. Indeed, Romero has moved effortlessly from one genre to another in his 50 years on the screen. A native of New York City, Romero started his show business career as a nightclub and ballroom dancer, and from there moved on to the Broadway stage. He arrived in Hollywood in 1933 under contract to Paramount, but soon went over to 20th Century Fox, where he did most of his best work. Included among his many credits are classics such as The Thin Man, Tales of Manhattan, and Captain from Castile. He also co-starred in two Shirley Temple classics, Wee Willie Winkle and The Little Princess.
Ronnie, for shame.
Here she is on the bookshelves.
Bookshelves?
Oh, I forgot. I pretend they're bookshelves and filled with beautiful books.
Then I better remove her before she ruins your set of Dickens.
In the early 40s, Cesar Romero became quite popular portraying the Cisco Kid in the film series about that Western screen legend. But whether playing a cowboy, a lover, a villain, or a gangster, Romero's unique style and sophistication made him a consistent audience favorite.
I never knew you liked me quite that much.
Tried not to. I hate what you are, but it just doesn't seem to make any difference anymore.
If I thought a girl like you would marry a guy like me, I'd ask you.
Then I will. But go ahead and ask.
I'm asking.
I'm accepting.
Cesar Romero, an American movie classic.
I was working as a dancer in New York years ago. I was a ballroom team. When I got out of prep school, I graduated from a school in New York called Collegiate School, which is quite a well-known school. Doug Fairbanks was there. J.J. Kennedy was one of the students there. No, but when I graduated from school, I didn't go to college. And my father got me a job in the National City Bank in Wall Street, and I hated it. But I was on that list in New York. I was invited to all the Deb parties in New York in those days. And one of the girls that I used to dance with was a girl by the name of Elizabeth Higgins. Her father was the ink king, Higgins Inc. I'm sure you've heard of Higgins Inc. in New York. And she wanted to dance professionally. She had her family's approval. So one day she said to me, let's you and I be a dance team, and we can work in all the wonderful supper clubs that existed in New York in those days. And I said, fine, great, because dancing to me was fun. I was a very good dancer when I was young. And we got together and rehearsed a few routines and stuff, and went out and gave some auditions, and by golly, we got a job in a musical comedy, a show called Lady Do. And that's how I started in show business. And one thing led to another. I danced for 4 years with her and other partners. And then I got a call from an agent one day, and he said, do you think you can play the lead in Strictly Dishonorable? And Strictly Dishonorable was Preston Sturges. Preston Sturges' big hit, you know, and had been playing on Broadway for 2 years. And he was going, the star of the play was an Italian actor by the name of Tullio Carminati. And he was leaving the show to do it in London. They needed somebody to replace him to go on the road here. So this agent called and he said, do you think you can play the lead in that part? And I said, sure, you know, I said yes to everything. And I went and I met Brock Pemberton, the producer, and Antoinette Perry, you know, who the Tony Awards are named for her. She directed all of his plays, and they said, come back and read for us. Well, I had seen the play, and I went and saw it again that night. It was playing at the Avon Theater. And I listened to Mr. Carminati, and I never took my eyes off him. So when I went the next day and read for the part, I guess it was pretty good because they took me up and signed me to a run-of-the-play contract, and I played that part for a year on the road. My first part, I was the leading man.
So now that part led into other parts. And
oh yes, then I played several things. I played in New York in shows and on the road for the next 4 years, and I was doing a play called All Points West, and we were trying it out. out of New York. It never came in town because it closed on the road. But the producer brought Ben Piazza, who was then the casting director of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, to see the show. And he came backstage afterwards and said, "I'd like to do a screen test on you." And I said, "Fine." So I made this test, and months went by. I never heard a sound from them. And all of a sudden the phone rang, and my agent said, "Pack your bags, you're leaving for California. MGM is signing to a contract." And I came out to California in 1934, and I stayed.
Now, when you came out to California, what was the first picture you worked on?
The Thin Man.
The Thin Man.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to step on a movie soundstage for probably the first time?
Oh, God, I was so thrilled to be out there, you know. I was in the land of beautiful people and the movies. God, I was tickled to death. And I walked on the stage, the first morning that I was working, because I started working right away. I arrived on Friday the 13th. And the next Monday, I was on the set working. And I walked on the set, and nobody talked to me. Nobody said, "Hello, how are you? What are you doing here?" I just stood there and waiting, you know. And I saw people coming in, and nobody spoke to me. And I saw Maureen O'Sullivan come in, who was playing the girl. I saw Myrna Loy came in, and nobody said anything. I said, "Jesus," because in New York, when you started in a play, you were introduced to everybody, all the other players, you know. Nobody paid any attention to it. Finally, I saw Bill Powell come in, and I said, "Well, this is ridiculous, you know." So I went up to Mr. Powell, and I said, "Mr. Powell, I'm Cesar Romero. I'm playing the part of Jorgensen. I'm here from New York, you know." And Bill kind of looked at me, you know, and said, "Oh, well, we'll be doing things, won't we?" You know. But nobody bothered, even the director. It was a very strange feeling. I felt so alone.
But eventually they warmed up to you. And
oh, yeah. Well, I had a small part in it, a very small part. But it was a very strange feeling to be there. Nobody paid any attention to me.
Now, at one point you made the rounds of some of the major studios, and eventually you signed a long-term contract with the Fox studio.
Well, I was at Universal for 3 years. Because I didn't last very long at MGM. I only did the 2 pictures. Another picture with them was a British agent with Leslie Howard and Kay Francis. And after I did that, they let me go. But Universal, my agent took me up to Universal, and they signed me to a 3-year contract. And I was with them for 3 years, and when that was up, I signed with Zanuck, and I was with Zanuck for 15 years.
Now, being a contract player, what did that do for you as far as work was concerned?
Well, it was wonderful. I loved being under contract. You had security. You knew where you were going. In the theater, there was no security. You would rehearse for 4 or 5 weeks. You'd go open up, and a few critics would say it's no good, and you'd close. But in motion pictures, when you're under contract to a studio, you work day in and day out. You worked with the same people all the time. You became a big family. And I was at Fox for 15 years.
You think that helped you hone your craft a little bit?
Oh, of course. It's a great teacher. You learn. Because everything you're doing, you're playing a different part, a different character in everything you do. In the theater, if you have a hit, you play for a year, if you're lucky. But you're doing the same thing for a year. In pictures, you change your part, you change your character. I played all different kinds of characters in pictures. Really, I played a lot of heavies, a lot of gangsters. I played Mexicans, I played Europeans, I played Spaniards, Frenchmen, Russians.
Well, what was your favorite to do? What was your favorite role?
Well, I guess one of my favorite pictures was Captain from Castile. I played Cortez, and I was working with my very good friend Tyrone Power, and Lee Cobb, and a lot of good friends, you know, because we all knew each other in those days. It was, you know, in the days, those days in Hollywood, there was a very definite motion picture colony in town, and everybody knew each other. And there was, within that motion picture colony was a very elegant society at all the social functions. You'd see every big star in the business. It'd be there, Mary Pickford, Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, everybody, the Hollywood royalty, as they were called in those days.
Do you think there's a big difference between the studios in Hollywood of the 30s and 40s and Hollywood of today?
The studios don't exist.
Yeah.
They don't exist. Very few pictures are made in Hollywood today. Pictures are made all over the country and all over Europe. Most of the production in Hollywood today is television, not motion pictures.
Well, when back when you were doing films, what was your least favorite role of all the roles you had?
Oh dear, I made a few turkeys, my lord. I forget exactly. Armored car, you know, and you take what came along, because when you're under contract to a studio, you do what you're assigned to. If you don't like it and if you refuse to do the picture, then you go on suspension. And you go without salary for the length of time it takes to make that picture. Okay. And that length of time is added onto your contract. So you try to avoid that if you possibly could. I took one suspension, then I said, oh, this is for the birds. So I never did it again. You just did what you were supposed to do and what you were assigned. But I had no trouble at all. I did some wonderful pictures. I worked with some wonderful people in the business, some of the really great stars that just don't exist today.
Well, speaking of some of the stars that you had worked with, who was your favorite actor to work with? Who was your favorite actress to work with?
Well, I think one of my favorite actors was Bill Powell, William Powell. And of course, I love working with Tyrone Power, Gary Cooper. There were so many that I really enjoyed working with. And among the women, Carol Lombard was a delight. You know, and Barbara Stanwyck, Marlene Dietrich was even great to work with. So I worked with some of the great people in this business, and they were all wonderful to work with.
Is there any one actor or actress that if you had the opportunity to work with them now that you probably didn't work with them over your career? Is there anyone you would choose? Anyone you would want to pick?
Well, you know, we were all different on different studios in those days, and you stated I would have loved to work with Norma Shearer when she was the great star, but she was at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
So you never had the opportunity.
So you never had the opportunity, unless you're borrowed, you know, to do a picture at another studio. But you stayed at your own studio most of the time.
Were you ever lent out to other studios?
Yes, when I was under contract to Universal, I was loaned out to Darryl Zanuck when he was making his pictures out. It was called 20th Century Pictures, and it was not 20th Century Fox. He made his pictures on the United Artists lot, and he borrowed me for Clive of India with Ronald Colman and Loretta Young. Then he borrowed me for Cardinal Richelieu with George Arliss, and I played opposite Maureen O'Sullivan. We were the young lovers in it. Then he borrowed me for Metropolitan. I played with Lawrence Tibbett and Alice Brady and Virginia Bruce. Then he went over to Fox, and it became 20th Century Fox. And he borrowed me for the first picture that he made on that lot. It was called Show Them No Mercy. And then he'd borrowed me again for Wee Willie Winkie with Shirley Temple. So I was working for Zanuck all the time that I was under contract to Universal. So when I got out of my contract at Universal, Zanuck signed me then, and I was with him then for 15 years. So I actually worked for Zanuck for 18 years.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned Shirley Temple from Wee Willie Winkie. What was it like working with her? She was a big star at the time.
Oh, she was great. She wasn't a spoiled child at all. She wasn't a child star, a brat, that demanded this and that. No, not at all. Her mother did a wonderful job with her. wonderful job. Shirley will always be a little girl to me. I see her now when I bump into, you know, and I see this rather mature lady, and I said, oh dear, we must get old. Why do we all do that? Because she'll always be a child to me. She was a delightful little girl.
Is there anybody that you're a fan of?
That I'm a fan of?
Sure.
Well, I'm trying to think. I love Newman. I guess I've always admired him. But I'm not. I've lost interest in pictures, really. My career in pictures is behind me. It's not ahead of me. And I've gotten out of the habit of going to pictures. I very seldom. The last picture I saw was The Last of the Mohegans.
Speaking of that you really don't go to pictures anymore, did you ever get a chance, or did you ever critique and watch your own performances?
Well, yeah, I see some of my old pictures every once in a while. And some of them I say, you know, wow, I was pretty good in that. And others I say, God, how did I ever get another job, you know?
Did you like doing character roles as opposed to being the lead?
Oh, yes.
Did it give you more of an opportunity to act?
Yeah, I guess it did.
Now, we had done a little research, and we had mentioned something in the back there about your recording career.
Oh, please. What recording?
Songs by a Latin Lover.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry you brought that up. Somebody talked me into doing that. And I'm not a singer, you know. I can sing for my own amusement. But I made this album, and my mother bought one.
Now, you had mentioned that they had you on the cover of the album with a guitar.
Oh, yes, a beautiful color picture with the guitar, you know. And I can't play a guitar.
Now, at one point or another, or at least early in the 50s, you were involved in some television. And tell us about how you got involved in some of those programs.
Well, the first television series I did was a series I did for Hal Roach at the Hal Roach Studios. It was called Passport to Danger. And we did about, 30-some-odd episodes. I played a diplomatic courier. So every episode I was in a foreign country. So at all on the shows I always worked with different people. I was the only regular. And it was a good show. And we did very well with it. I don't know whatever happened to it. I've never seen it since. But then I played a guest in practically every show you can think of, really. And then, of course, I did Falcon Crest, you know. I played Jane Wyman's husband for a couple of years.
Now, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, wonderful. You know, Jane is an old friend of mine. I've known Jane for over 50 years. So we worked together very well, and it was a very, very pleasant experience.
Now, you've made numerous guest appearances that you've mentioned, but one role that comes to mind for a lot of people is the role of the Joker in the Batman TV series, and I'm sure a lot of people bring that up to you.
Yes.
Well, how did you get involved in doing that?
Well, I tell you, the producer called me one day, and he said, you know, I'm doing a series called Batman. He said, we've shot 2 episodes. We've shot the first one with the villain called the Riddler, and we've shot the second one with a villain called the Penguin. Now the one we're doing now has the villain as the Joker, and I'd like you to play the Joker. So I said, I don't know anything about these comic strips. I'd never watched Batman. So I said, well, I don't know. He said, listen, come on over to the studio and I'll run the first one that we made, which was Harriet Gorshin playing the Riddler. So I went down to the studio and I saw this picture, and it was great. It was just great. The production on it was wonderful, you know. And I said, oh, boy. So he gave me the script, and I read it, and the script was wonderful. And I said, well, sure, I'll do it. Now, why he wanted me to do it, I'll never know. I asked his wife, Ann Rutherford, why did did he think of me for this part? And she said, well, he saw you in something, and he said, he's the one I want to play the Joker. And I don't know what he saw me in that made him think I could do that. But I had a ball playing the Joker. I really did. I did some 20-some-odd episodes of the television series and the motion picture. And I had a ball, and I still get so much mail on it, you know. And they all say, you're the Joker, you're the only Joker, you're the one.
Now, did you get an opportunity to see the Batman movie, the newer release that's been out with the Jack Nicholson Joker, the comparisons?
Well, I tell you, you can't compare the two, because what we did was the comic strip. We did that, you know, it was for laughs. Biff, bang, you know, it was for laughs. The motion picture they made with Nicholson was a dark, gloomy murder mystery. It was not fun. It was, you know, it was not really. It was not. It could have been anything. It didn't have to be Batman at all. It could have been any murder.
Now, what was it like for you to have to sit through all that makeup?
Oh, that was nothing.
It's nothing?
No. Put on the makeup, took about an hour. The makeup and the green wig, you know, and took 5 minutes to take it off. No, that was no problem.
Now, your career in television now takes you to the American Movie Classics channel, and you are the host of the Romance Classics
That's right.
series.
Yeah, I'm on Sunday afternoons.
Okay. Do you have any input as to some of the films that are shown on that series?
No, no.
And as far as Romance Classics, the association with you and Romance Classics?
Because I'm so romantic.
As part of our day with Cesar Romero, American Movie Classics has lent us a copy of Tall, Dark, and Handsome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that film?
Well, this is a picture I did with Milton Berle, is in it, and the girl was Virginia Gilmore. And it's a comedy, a gangster comedy, but it's a cute picture, and I play the lead in it. And it's a picture that was a big hit at the time, and it played. It opened at I think it was the Roxy Theater. It was supposed to be there for 1 week, and it played there for 3 weeks. It was a sleeper, you know. And it's a picture that made the director was, what was his name, Woody? Anyway, it made him an A director, this, so it helped a lot of people on the way. It was a good picture. It was a good picture.
What I'd like to do is thank you very, very much for being here with us today. I'd like to thank American Movie Classics for setting up this day for us and making it a wonderful day. I'd like to mention to all of our viewers to watch American Movie Classics on Comcast Channel 16 and to watch Cesar Romero as the host of the Romance Classics series every Sunday afternoon on AMC. And again, I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank everyone for being with us, and I hope you enjoy Tall, Dark, and Handsome.
Well, I wish I could see it.
We'll give you a copy.
Oh, well, I have a copy at home.
Well, thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you indeed.